On today's episode, I'll give you a rundown of my day through my vlog and also some thoughts regarding how our bodies map into our minds and how our health is affected.
This is how legends are made.
So as the first part of the episode is my vlog on how my day has gone. It's been good. I've tried for day 2 now the 5 o'clock start. Now, I say 5 o'clock, it was probably a little bit later than that, though the alarm went off at 5 and I got up around 20 past. But I got up and went for a fast 3K run, back, meditation, and got a lot of things done I wanted to before the kids were awake. So that went very well. And then dad stuff, kids' school runs, packed lunches, then into a client call for about an hour and a half, followed by a number of just emails confirming other clients for the rest of the month, other bits and pieces and admin and so on. Got a nice little Instagram video out as well, which was kind of explaining one of the things I've been doing, a little kind of challenge I set myself, which is about doing 100 push-ups every day. And to qualify, I'm doing as many days as I can, excluding weekends because they're harder to achieve, but in the weekdays I'm doing that. So there's my little tidbits from the first part of today. And I'll just share my other thoughts that I've been kind of going through recently, and particularly it's becoming more and more aware of really how much the stresses and strains of our lives and our roles can impact our health. I've just been having more conversations with people and just noticing how where our stress goes in our body when we hold on to it, when it stays within us, gradually begins to have an increase in our ability to reduce our immune system and the effects that can have. And having conversations with people who are suffering from a number of different issues, but you look back and there's some degree of trauma, stress, anxiety that's kind of started it. And the illness is just a response to the system trying to cope with what's going on. And it's what I find fascinating, I don't know if you get this, but it's that sometimes when we're reading about something, we kind of understand something or a particular subject, all of a sudden we see loads more examples coming into our focus than we had before, and that's kind of the case with right now. So the thing that I'm actually kind of reading is about that, how our body says no. A particular book by Gabor Mate that describes how when we retain anxiety or stress or aren't able to dispense of, say, challenging emotions or normal emotions that we are natural to feel, but if we hang on to them, they become quite damaging in short, medium and long term. And he describes a whole range of things that people can go through. And what basically is happening, as I kind of piece it together, is that the retention of our feelings or not dissipating our emotional reactions to things, when they stay inside, stored inside, has a negative effect on our immune system, our ability to cope physically with issues, or at least the body creates a response to the emotions we're feeling, and that response can, from his book, relate to cancers, asthma, eczemas, any type of, or arthritis, things where our body is beginning to create a response to what we're holding on to. Even if we're not consciously holding on to it as a stress, but we find that our roles are particularly stressful. So one example I can think of is talking to someone about how they are feeling a lot of vertigo and have to come off work because they're feeling dizzy so much they can't actually work easily. But when you look at what their role is and what they've been doing, there's so much multitasking going on. There's so much pressure, so much immediate demands on their time that in a way they're so busy, their head's spinning, which is interesting because that's what's happening and that's why they've taken enough time off work, because their head is spinning. It's literally now become a vertigo from they're so busy. I'm not able to give you all the information that I have. Look into it, research it, find out for yourself. But I just found it interesting how these things do relate, how our immune system is negatively affected by emotions we're hanging on to, retaining, or at least we're not airing them or healthily expressing them. And that's really how I find myself noticing more of these little cases, little stories of people who are suffering from something. Then you go back in a few months or a year and say, well, what's your life like? And you realize actually the causes, a lot of them are embedded in how they've been living, their own psychology, their own emotional maturity, development. You go, oh, that's interesting how that's happened. and how you're living your life over here. They're not unrelated. There is kind of not a mind-body separation. It is one unit and will respond as one complete unit. And this particular observation from the reading I'm doing, and I find it fascinating and I want to explore it further. The only final thing to say is when I'm talking with clients, I am checking in on their health and see what's happening for them, because I think that is a good litmus test on maybe stresses and anxieties that they're not kind of fully aware of. And that's what I'm bringing into my practice. Oh, and the other thing I'm doing is spending more time reading about counselling books. I've got a few books now, which I'm going to get more involved in, more interested in, from a on the sidelines, looking to taste it kind of perspective. And that's what I want to share with you. I hope you're doing super well wherever you are, and I'll catch you on the next episode.
This is how legends are made.